Hi everyone, welcome back to another deck profile. Today we're doing an update on my Gravekeeper deck. Now since the last time I showed this deck off, I have made some updates on it and participated in some tournaments. Now before the updates, this deck did wreak havoc and made a lot of people think about what they had to do to get around it. And I came in 3rd place, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, could be right. I believe it was 3rd place. Anyways, I've made adjustments since then to this deck to what I think is what makes it now a pretty damn good deck. I mean, it was pretty damn good to begin with. Now it's even better. So, without further ado, let's get into this deck and let me show you the power of the Gravekeepers. Set things aside. First, we're going to start off with 3 of what you need. 3 Gatekeepers Commanders. Commandment. Commandment. I will learn words. This card basically is an extra Necro Valley. You draw them, discard them, add Necro Valley to your hand. That's all he does, because Necro Valley is key to this deck. Next is 3 Gravekeeper Spies. Not only does she have a high attack of 2000, but once it's flipped, you can special summon a Gravekeeper monster from your deck to the field. So, she helps you start swarming the field and buys you a little time. Next up, you have 3 Gravekeeper's Recruiters. These guys, when they are sent to the graveyard, you can add a Gravekeeper from your deck to your hand excuse me, with 1500 attack points or less. Helps you search out your Gravekeepers. Wait, my bad, 1500 defense points or less. My bad, guys. I do that still. Next, you have 3 Gravekeeper's Headmen. This card allows you to special summon 1 level 4 Gravekeeper from your graveyard and attack position. You can only do it once per turn. That's what this card does, helps you get your Gravekeepers back. They have 2 Gravekeeper Spiritualists, pretty much a live-in polymerization. As long as you have Necro Valley on the field, do not do like me and misplay and forget to activate Necro Valley, then summon this thing, because I did that, and I looked like a goofball, yeah. Then we have 1 Gravekeeper's Oracle, 1 Gravekeeper's, how do I cannot say it right for whatever reason. Carrot. Anyways, Gravekeeper's Oracle basically is just your big boss monster of this deck. He gains effects depending on how many Gravekeepers you tribute to bring him out. As for the other guy, when Necro Valley is activated, he is unaffected by card effects. Plus, he's 1800 attack points, so that makes him a pretty big boy. Next, we got some of the only 2 hand traps in the deck, in my opinion, that need to be in it. 1 effect failure and 1 kaiju. And the kaiju is just to get over the things that kind of block you for now. Effect failure because she is the best hand trap, you cannot tell me otherwise. That's my opinion and I'm sticking to it. Next, we have the core of the deck, 3 Necro Valleys. This card can put a stop to almost all of the meta decks because a lot of them rely on their graveyard. And the moment you shut that off, you slow down that engine or you completely stop it, and they have to work around that guard to get to you. And you gotta protect your Necro Valley, because without it, this deck kind of falls apart. Next, we have 3 Necro Valley Thrones, which allows you to either special summon a Gravekeeper or add a Gravekeeper monster from your deck to your hand. Good search engine for the deck. Then we have 2 Royal Tributes, which this card ends up making your opponent and you discard all your monsters to the graveyard if you have Necro Valley on the field, which works in your favor, because now they can't use their graveyard, they ain't got no monsters, they ain't got no monsters in their hand. Next we have 2 Hidden Temples of the Necro Valley. This is a floodgate right here. This stops them from summoning anything that is not Gravekeeper. As long as you have Necro Valley and a Gravekeeper monster on the field, it stops them from special summoning anything else. Next we have some good generic spells for this deck. Let's start off with 1 Field Barrier for protecting your Necro Valley, 1 Dark Ruler No More, 1 Regeki, and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Dark Ruler No More, shuts down your opponent's monster effects. They take half the battle damage a turn, but hey, it's worth it to stop some of their big guys. Regeki destroys all their monsters. Harpy's Feather Duster destroys their back row. Next we get to the traps. First we have 2 Imperial Tombs of Necro Valley, and 2 of my favorite traps, Dark Renewal. Now this card pretty much negates anything as long as you have Necro Valley on the field. It spells, traps, and monster effects. So it's a pretty good card. But like I said, you gotta have both Necro Valley and a Gravekeeper on the field for it to work. But 99% of the time you do, so that's not a problem. And the reason I have it in a deck is because, well, it goes with the theme of the deck and allows me pretty much to get 2 more Solemn Judgments in my deck pretty much. And then we have a Dark Renewal, which a lot of people just see it in Dark Magician decks. So you can use it in this deck because most of your Gravekeepers, actually all of them, are spellcasters. Your opponent summons a monster, activate it, tribute yours, tribute theirs, bam! Here comes you a big boy on the field. Pretty good card. And then we have 2 of everyone's favorite trap card, Solemn Strike, 2 Solemn Warnings, oh, get back in camera view, and 1 Solemn Judgment. We got the Solemn group here, almost all of them, we're still missing 1 or 2 I think, but these are the main big bads of it. All these guys wreak havoc on any deck, despite what they're summoning or using. I always recommend having at least Solemn Judgment in your deck because he's just a straight no. Denied all. Next we'll look at the extra deck. We'll start with the XCs, which we have 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 number 66 Key Beetle, 1 Silent Horror Shark, and 1 Dark Rebellion XC Dragon. Silent Horror Shark, he's able to take your... Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me get him up there a little bit more. There we go. Now you can review, buddy. Silent Horror Shark, he's able to pretty much take any of your opponent's monsters, and it becomes a material. If they try to destroy him, they destroy the material instead. Key Beetle just protects your Necro Valley or a Gravekeeper, because you can attach a material, select 1 card, that card cannot be destroyed. And Abyss Dweller is just in there because, well, it stops your opponent from activating card effects in their graveyard, so it works like a living, breathing Necro Valley. Dark Rebellion's in there in case there's a boss monster you can't get over with high attack points. Detach his materials, take half their attack points, and lay it down. Take them out. Dark Rebellion Dragon. Then for the fusion deck, it's simple. You have 2 Gravekeepers. You have 2 Gravekeepers. It's that simple. You just have 2 of these guys. And the reason it's just 2 of them is because that's all I got. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot. I have these 2 for the Super Poly target. 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp and 1 Destiny Hero Dangerous. Now, Graveyard one's obvious, that's the boss monster of this deck. Now, the reason I have the Destiny Hero Dangerous is because I noticed a lot of people play Elemental Hero and / a Destiny Hero at some of these tournaments. So that's why he's in here, for a good Super Poly target for that. Swamp Dragon, Super Poly target, that's really all he is. Then for links, we have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Toti Dragon, 1 Trubolic I can never say his name, I'm sorry guys, 1 Gaia, Fierce Knight, not really, and 1 Sir Skull Dread. Now, you get the Nightmare family, and most of these are just good genetic leap monsters to have in this deck if you need to get out on the field. Most of the time, your Gravekeepers are going to be doing all the work, so they really aren't that big of a deal. But just in case you do need them, you got some big boys right there. I like them. I think they're cool. And now, for something that I rarely do, I am going to show y'all my side deck for this deck. So first we have 1 Book of Taiyu. Now this card flips a face down monster face up, so if needed, you can flip your Gravekeeper spy up, go ahead and get your side Gravekeeper on the field, or for whatever reason, flip your opponent's monster up. I don't know why you want to do that. And just because I have a soft spot for it, Gravekeeper's Assailant. This card, when he attacks your opponent's monster, if Necrovite is on the field, changes battle position. We have 1 extra of the Gravekeeper's Heretic. Then we have 1 Gravekeeper's Ascent, which discard let me double check before I tell you wrong. Tribute one Gravekeeper monster and destroy one monster on the field. One card on the field. So that's pretty good. Then we have one Magician's right hand and Magician's left hand. Then we have an anti-spell fragrance, a psychic eraser laser, Judgment of Anubis, Super Poly, and Dogmatic Punishment. Now, the Magician's left and right hand, they act as a first trap and spell negate to protect your monsters, as long as you have a spellcaster on the field. Anti-spell, if your opponent's deck is spell heavy, best thing to stop them, because then they have to set the card face down and wait till next turn to activate it, just like a trap. Psychic Eraser Laser, great removal. Judgment of Anubis, I have it in here in case my opponent's deck relies on taking out my back row. They take that out, it destroys their cards and one of their monsters, and they lose life points equal to that. So it can cause some serious damage. Then Super Poly, of course, for if I need to use Super Poly to get rid of some of their cards. Dogmatic Punishment, same thing. It all depends on what I'm playing against, is how this extra deck works. And normally I don't make an extra deck. I don't, because I like to build my decks as is and not worry about changing it out. But in this day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh, you definitely gotta have one, or at least a very small one. But that's it for my Gravekeeper deck profile, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm really excuse me, something keeps getting in my throat. Anyways, I'm really proud of this build. I really like it, and I think it's a really strong deck. I believe it's going to end up get me further in the tournament this time than last time. I don't know for sure tomorrow, because I do plan to go enter it. Anyways, guys, if you like this deck profile, please hit that like button, and please leave a comment below about your thoughts on it. What you think we could do to make it better, or your own Gravekeeper deck. I want to see y'all sometime too. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope to catch you on the next deck profile video. Peace.